How's it going, guys? I wanted to make this video because when it came time to making my privacy fence, I really wanted to make it even stronger than what it was, but there just wasn't anything out there that could really help me. Just maybe there was maybe one video on YouTube, but the rest of them were just images off of Google that I went off of. But I'm just gonna tell you what I did on making a privacy fence with pipe instead of wood 4x4s. Okay, so what I did to begin it with everything is I used a 6x6 as my corner post. I know it's a little much, but I'm sharing this same post with my neighbor so that he can tie into it, and I did that over by the gate as well. But what I did is I went on Craigslist because I wanted to use pipe, and I didn't want to use that real flimsy pipe. So what I did is I went on Craigslist, found a guy that was selling oil fill pipe. They come in 30-foot joints. Bought a couple of them, brought them back, started cutting them to length. When I cut them to length, whatever you can desire. What I desired was 7 foot 9 inches, and I welded caps on there. Once I welded them caps, dug all my holes, got my buddy's throw string line. Same thing applies to making a fence. The only difference is that you're going to be using pipe. So once we all had them all up in the ground, we came back, we built up the concrete just a little bit, just to help with the water from it staying there. Then we buffed every single pole with a wire wheel, with the grinder. We buffed every single one of them. We found some Rust-Oleum rust penetrator primer, so we primed them, and then we came back with an oil-based paint, and we chose black for that, and we painted them. We painted every single post. Then we found these Simpson brackets over at Home Depot. These are Simpson 2 3/8. I think they're 18 gauge steel, and every single one of these brackets holding up these runners is held on with galvanized bolts with washers and lock washers and nuts. Every single one of them. And we did that to the top, medium, and the bottom. We didn't take no shortcuts on that because we have a lot of strong winds around here. So I'm going to show you what I did with the gate. So what I did for this gate, instead of having a double door, because I did have a double door, and the wind would kick it open all the time, and then it started to sag. So I had told my wife for many years that I wanted to make one big gate, and I wanted to put pickets on it. So this is what I did. I got an image off of Google. Instead of using hinges, I used kind of like a sleeve as my hinge. And what I used here was some oil fill pipe, steel oil fill pipe. This is not the expensive stuff. This is just a scrap because I don't want to pay top dollar for a brand new pipe. What I did is I got a 4-inch pipe, and then I used a 5-inch pipe as a sleeve. And both of them, the 4-inch and the 5-inch, have caps on them. So it sits on that cap, and it'll pivot off of that. Another thing that we did is put some bolts on the bottom just to help it with the play. You can do that. We noticed that we really didn't need them. Another thing that we did is we utilized these brackets, and as you can see, you can also bend these brackets, and I actually cut them so they could fit, and actually drilled another hole there, and you can bend it. You can look down there, and that's what we did to be able to tie our runners on so that we can put our pickets. One thing that I noticed was, already knew right off the bat, is that it was going to be a very heavy gate. So what I did to eliminate sag was I put a wheel on there. I got that wheel over at Harbor Freight, and one thing about this wheel is that it doesn't take air. It doesn't have air at all. It's just a solid rubber tire. And I fabricated that I guess if you want to say like wheel bracket thing there, and then tied it in with some U-bolts that I found at Lowe's. And for this other piece, for it being so close to the house, I didn't want to use wood at all. because we found that when Hurricane Harvey hit, what happened was it wasn't that the fence literally broke. It was just the posts themselves, out of rot with the water, broke. They all broke from the very bottom. So we wanted to use pipe to eliminate that. So that's why we put this pipe here. Except I used a 3-inch pipe on this one because I had it as scrap, and I thought it was gonna be a pretty good corner post right here for the gate to be able to lock in. And we did the same thing. We put the brackets, we painted them, we primed them, you know, same thing. The only thing is I welded some little, I guess, like a little, not a sleeve, but a little bracket here, just so we can tie into that 2x4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to the front of the gate. I'm going to show you what I did there. So what I did here for the gate to be able to lock it is I made this little latch. All of this I fabricated myself. I took a torch, bent this 3/8 round bar, and right here, instead of having a sleeve just like this one, I went ahead and just put a half moon of 2-inch pipe, just so that way whenever the gate goes up and down, it'll have some play in there to be able to put it in there. And then right here, this is how you open it. You lock it in, and you can put your lock right there. And then we put all the pickets, everything. Another thing about these pickets is that we didn't use any nails. Every single one of these has been screwed as well, screwed in. One thing that my wife did was cosmetically is that in the beginning we had this gap, this void right here, and it didn't look good from the street. So my wife decided, what can we do? Can we put some magnets there to put this picket? What can we do? So I told her, you know what? Let's go to the hardware store. Let's go look for some hinges. We can get some hinges. I'll get a chisel. I'll chisel it in, and we'll just cover it up right there. It'll look good from the street. Nobody can tell. Whenever we're gonna open up the gate, you don't have to have it, but we decided to have it. Just open it up. Then you can open your gate. No problem. We did have to take off a lot of dirt to level the ground. Other than that, I mean, it really don't take any effort at all. The only thing that we're doing right now is just a little bit of landscaping. Gonna level out the ground. We're gonna get these bricks that we've had here laying at the house for a while. We're gonna make it look real nice. And right now it's pretty much a mess right now, but we're in the construction phase, you know. But this is just a little video just to help you out, to give you a little bit of an idea. If you're thinking about making a fence that's gonna last, you know, years, because I don't really know. I've heard that the life expectancy of a 4x4 post is probably about 5 to 8 years, but I really doubt that. It all depends on how you got the concrete. If your post is sitting in the dirt and it's creating, if it's just holding moisture, you know. But this is how I went about it. So I hope this helps you out, and I just thank everybody for helping all the people in the Rockport Coastal Bend area that were affected by Hurricane Harvey. You know, we went through a lot. This town took a really hard hit, and I thank everybody for being so respectful, because, you know, a lot of people didn't have fences and they were exposed, and all their things are worldly items, you know. Everything was exposed, you know. Anybody could have came in and stole, but that wasn't the case. Everybody was helping everyone, and that was good, you know. And we're still recovering, and you can still see some of the damage, you know. And you know, I hope those other people too that were also affected by the other hurricanes over in Florida, I hope they're doing much better, and I, you know, just send your prayers out for them.